The future world, these genetically modified humans are called the upper class. As for those with inherent genetic defects that can't be corrected, they are forced to live in slums, barely surviving. In this dystopian world with extremely unfair resource distribution, can the poor really only struggle in hardship forever? Without further ado, the story begins. An unforeseen large-scale nuclear war plunged the world into chaos. However, the world wasn't destroyed. Instead, there was a qualitative leap in genetic technology. Some genetically modified humans became the core capital controlling society. Later, when these people had children, they also genetically modified the embryos. Their children were different from ordinary people from birth. Some had sharp hearing, some ran fast and jumped high, some even possessed a voice like a celestial voice. The singer Mira had undergone vocal cord genetic modification, and has now become a celebrity. As for the natural humans with genetic defects that can't be modified, they are the discarded scraps of society. In the eyes of genetically modified humans, they are freaks abandoned by the world.
Yeah, my dad says we should put them down like dogs.
These natural humans, lacking dignity and enhanced abilities, usually can only work as cleaners or laborers, engaged in low-end industries to serve genetically modified humans. Leon the mechanic is a natural human. Who should have stayed in the slum, put on a security uniform and sneaked into a building. There is a tree of creation in this building. It emerged after the outbreak of the nuclear war. Scientists discovered that the creation flowers on the tree possess extremely high energy. After the war, the original energy system was completely destroyed. Now the whole world can only rely on creation energy. Therefore, the preciousness of the tree of creation is conceivable. At this moment, Leon had unlocked the elevator and gone up to the second floor. He spotted two guards not far away. He immediately took out the mechanical mouse he had made and wound it up several times. Then he put the mouse on the ground and let it scurry around. The guards hurriedly chased after it. After a while, the mouse stopped. The two picked it up out of curiosity to examine it. Confirming the guards were asleep, Leon hurried forward to retrieve the mechanical mouse, and also searched the guards to find a key. After using the key to unlock the pipeline room and the adjacent equipment room, Leon studied it immediately and soon found the pipeline leading to the laboratory. So he took out a can of gas and connected it to the pipeline. 2.5 seconds later, all the scientists in the laboratory fell into a coma. Leon quickly put on a gas mask and prepared to enter the laboratory to get the creation flower. But the laboratory door required a password. He hurriedly contacted his accomplice Chloe outside. Upon receiving the message, Chloe quickly created a disturbance. When the staff came over to ask about the situation, she quickly stole a notebook. Then she ran to the side to contact Leon, tried the password, and helped him enter the laboratory. Upon arrival, Leon headed straight for the tree of creation. He used a special tool to drill a hole in the tempered glass. He saw the creation flower that converts nuclear materials into high-quality energy. Without any hesitation, Leon cut off one of the flowers. Unexpectedly, the tree of creation had its own defense mechanism. The thorns it shot out triggered the alarm system. Frightened, Leon quickly put away the creation flower and retreated. When he reached the main gate, he found that the staff were evacuating the visiting students. Everyone hurried towards the gate. Only Chloe walked slowly, preoccupied. She didn't let out a sigh of relief until she saw Leon approaching. At this moment, the students were being searched. Leon found an opportunity to drop a teddy bear on the ground. Chloe beside him flew into a rage instantly. She warned them not to touch her things and took the teddy bear back. Leon kept apologizing and stepped forward to be searched. The staff had a very bad attitude towards him and took all their grievances out on him. As an inferior person, Leon had to endure. At the same time, Chloe, disguised as a genetically modified human, was also being searched. She was let go after only a short search. What blatant discrimination! On the other side, the genetically modified humans were strolling around leisurely. Suddenly, a large screen in the center of the square lit up. Senator Frank began to speak, saying he was committed to making genetic modification accessible to all humanity. For this purpose, he proposed Bill 42, to help natural humans with genetic defects achieve equality for all humanity. As one of the few public figures who didn't discriminate against natural humans, Mira would hold a tour concert in the slums in a few days to help pass Bill 42. She stated that there would be no ticket fees, and invited all natural humans to celebrate with her. Chloe was overjoyed when she heard the news. Mira was her idol. She eagerly hoped to attend the concert. As she was daydreaming, Leon suddenly appeared. Chloe accused him of being so late. He sighed and said the staff had discriminated against him. They had searched him so thoroughly that they might as well have stripped him naked. Chloe was also helpless. She told Leon about Bill 42, thinking that better days were coming for natural humans, but he told her not to be naive, especially not to trust Frank. Late at night, Mira went to her dressing room to rest. Her assistant came and asked her to cancel the autograph session, saying that many natural humans were vicious thugs. Performing in such a dangerous place was scary enough. If she held an autograph session up close, the consequences would be unimaginable. However, Mira insisted on holding the autograph session. Her goal was to help pass Bill 42, to let natural humans live like normal people. She would never back down out of fear. The next day, after a long journey, Chloe and Leon arrived at the entrance of the slum. The genetically modified human guards asked them to show their documents, and also asked what they had been doing outside. Leon lied and said Chloe was his niece, saying they had gone out to buy her a birthday gift. He also gestured for the guards to look at the teddy bear. Seeing nothing wrong, the guards let them pass. As they watched the two leave, the guards cursed, saying they smelled of poverty. After entering the slum, Leon got busy chatting with others, while Chloe's attention was drawn to a TV interview. Frank once again talked about the benefits of Bill 42, and said that to change the current situation of natural humans' genetic defects, he and his team had developed a gene-enhancing drug. Previous genetic modifications were limited to the embryonic stage, but with this new drug, even adult natural humans could undergo genetic modification through the drug. Chloe was overjoyed when she heard this, but Leon behind her looked full of disdain. He kept calling Chloe's name, telling her to go home quickly. Then the two entered a dilapidated warehouse. Leon opened the back of the specially made teddy bear. This teddy bear could block energy, as long as it wasn't inspected carefully. The genetically modified humans would never know the creation flower was hidden inside. At this moment, Chloe looked at the empty box. She accused Leon of using her sour berries to corrode the glass.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to grow them?
Screw your fruits.
This is...
Genesis flower extract. Use it wisely, Doctor.
In fact, Chloe was very fond of tinkering with various herbs. She was the one who formulated the sleeping potion in the mechanical mouse. She had wanted to study the extract immediately. Unexpectedly, Leon told her to wash the dishes first. Chloe was dissatisfied, but her parents had entrusted her to Leon before they passed away. She had to compromise with life. As she scrubbed the dishes diligently, Leon took out tools to cut the energy core from the creation flower. Once everything was done, they quickly opened for business. Most of the visitors were natural humans with congenital disabilities, or those wanting to gain self-defense abilities. Leon installed mechanical exoskeletons for them, and used the energy core to power the exoskeletons. A small piece was enough to keep the mechanical exoskeleton functioning normally for a whole year. After serving all the customers, Leon was just about to rest when he suddenly received a special order. The client had entered the back kitchen of a restaurant in the wealthy district. Using a mechanical exoskeleton, he had been laying low and was doing fairly well, but his work for the night wasn't over yet. When his exoskeleton broke down, he didn't want to lose this hard-earned job, and was willing to pay 3 times the usual fee to have Leon come repair it. Chloe thought going to the wealthy district was too dangerous. If word got out about their business, Leon would be thrown in jail, and she would be sent to an orphanage, losing her freedom. But Leon actually took the order for the generous reward. Chloe asked if he was crazy. The guards were extra strict at night. They would definitely get caught, but Leon knew full well the importance of money. He said he knew a path that could bypass the checkpoints. Chloe was shocked and asked why he had kept such a good method to himself until now. Thanks to avoiding the guards' layers of inspections, they arrived in the wealthy district in much less time than expected, and successfully reached the restaurant's back kitchen to help the chef repair the mechanical exoskeleton, replacing it with a new energy core. At the same time, a group of anti-genetic thugs broke into the restaurant and turned off the lights immediately, waving axes and killing wildly. The chef, whose exoskeleton had just been repaired, heard the noise and went out to check. When he returned to the kitchen, he had just finished describing what was happening outside when he was killed. Leon thought they should escape immediately, but without the chef's help, they couldn't open the password-locked door. Desperate for a solution, Leon asked Chloe to help him put on the chef's exoskeleton. A few seconds later, the thugs came to the back kitchen to check and found no signs of life. They started talking about causing a riot at the concert the next day. As they chatted, they vandalized the walls with Graffiti, accidentally dropping a note while they were busy. Chloe picked it up carefully. At this moment, the lookout outside shouted that the police were coming. The thugs immediately prepared to flee, but Leon accidentally pressed the exoskeleton switch. Exposed, he had to fight the thugs hand-to-hand. He knocked askew the mask of one of them, then he fought 2 against 1, temporarily disabling the thug's ability to chase. He then forced open the door and fled with Chloe. The two fled all the way to a garbage dump. After catching their breath, they returned to the slum via the same path. Back home, the two watched a live news broadcast. The reporter stated that according to police statistics, 10 genetically modified humans had been killed. Based on witness accounts, the police had identified 2 suspects, and those 2 suspects were Leon and Chloe. This was completely absurd. Chloe shouted that the police were useless, framing innocent people arbitrarily. Leon said this was just how the world worked. Now, after all, they were at the bottom of society. At this moment, the reporter interviewed Police Captain Ronson, asking for his views on the terrorist attack. He shouted that natural humans were all dangerous bombs. If not eliminated in time, they would destroy the wealthy district. Leon was stunned when he saw this, because he recognized Ronson as the thug whose mask he had knocked askew. Why would a genetically modified human kill other genetically modified humans? Leon couldn't figure it out. Suddenly, Chloe seemed to realize something. She quickly took out the note the thug had dropped. It was a promotional ticket for Myra's concert. Recalling the conversation between the 2 thugs, Chloe thought Myra was in danger. Leon suddenly realized Myra was an extremely influential figure. The police wanted to kill her in the slum, to spark intense resentment among genetically modified humans towards natural humans, using this trick to drive natural humans to a dead end. Thinking of this, Leon planned to move with Chloe to a remote place to live in hiding, but Chloe thought they couldn't leave. What would happen to Myra and the other natural humans? Leon told her to face reality. They were a cripple and a child, and they were wanted by the police. They could barely save themselves, so why worry about others? But Chloe still refused to leave. She insisted on staying to save people. After shouting that Leon was a coward, she stormed out of the house. Leon was torn, but he quickly made up his mind to stay. Because Chloe was his important family, he modified the chef's mechanical exoskeleton. After putting it on, he no longer needed a wheelchair. More importantly, his combat effectiveness was greatly enhanced. Chloe was overjoyed when she heard this. To make Leon even stronger, she added some biological agents to the exoskeleton. The next day, Myra arrived at the slum as scheduled to hold the concert. Although the natural humans were all blocked outside the iron fence, they still watched with great excitement. After the concert ended successfully, Myra was preparing to leave under the escort of her bodyguards, when she was suddenly attacked by thugs. After taking down all the bodyguards, the thugs decided to kill Myra. At the critical moment, Leon descended from above. He had intended to launch a poisoned herb attack, but unexpectedly, it jammed. The thugs mocked him, asking if he had come to walk the Victoria's Secret runway. Then Leon engaged the thugs in a fierce battle. With the mechanical exoskeleton as his advantage, he took everyone by surprise. After taking down several thugs, Leon got into the car, but not having taken off his mask, he startled Myra instantly. Leon hurried to say he wasn't a bad guy, then he took her back home. In the earlier melee, Leon had been slashed and wounded. He struggled to wipe the blood from his wound. Myra quickly stepped forward to help. Her dream had always been to be a doctor, but her genetically modified talent led her to focus on singing instead. Of course, she did enjoy being the center of attention. After chatting about these trivial things, she asked what the thugs' purpose was in harming her. It simply didn't make sense. Leon said the thugs were actually genetically modified humans. Everything they did was to provoke conflict and block the implementation of Bill 42. After all, they were used to being superior. How could they agree to natural humans also receiving genetic modification? Myra couldn't believe it and said she had an important event to attend the next day. Frank would be there too. Leon immediately realized something was wrong. Thinking the thug's next target might be Frank, Myra thought it made sense. She wanted to call the police for help. Leon shouted that it was absolutely impossible. The police captain was a thug himself. They had no idea who else was involved, so now they could only rely on themselves.
I'm like your biggest fan, but he's totally right.
Myra had to agree to help. To sneak into the event venue, Leon pretended to be Myra's secret boyfriend, planning to take the event participants to a safe place in advance, so when the thugs arrived, they would be left with nothing to do, and get arrested by the police who arrived later. At that time, the truth would be made public by the reporters. After entering the hospital where the event was held, the doctor asked why Myra had come so early. Myra hurried to explain that she intended to have a child. but didn't want to disclose her partner yet, and hoped the doctor would keep it a secret. The doctor said he understood and asked what talents Mira wanted her child to have, whether it was beauty or a beautiful singing voice. As they talked, Leon asked the doctor to show them around. The doctor looked embarrassed. Because Senator Frank would be arriving soon, Leon insisted, saying the tour wouldn't take long. The doctor mainly didn't dare to offend Mira, so he had to agree to show the two around. Seeing that the time was right, Leon suddenly shouted, calling out to both pregnant women and staff, telling everyone without exception to come out. Mira invited everyone to a private performance. As she spoke, she led everyone to a room. On the other side, the thugs had already entered the hospital lobby. They had just prepared to go inside when Leon stopped them. Both sides started fighting immediately.
Get him!
The ammunition Chloe made with the extract was very powerful, but there were just too many thugs, all of whom were genetically modified humans with enhanced strength, and they had already figured out Leon's fighting style, so they joined forces and quickly knocked Leon to the ground. Just as they were about to kill him, suddenly Frank rushed in with his team of bodyguards. The thugs fled the scene in haste. At this moment, Frank slowly walked up to Leon and said, "Long time no see, son." Upon hearing this, Chloe hurried to ask what was going on. Leon tried to explain, but unexpectedly, Chloe ran away without looking back. At this moment, Frank confessed to all the reporters that Leon was his son. He also said that his son's current situation proved the rift between genetically modified humans and natural humans was really too deep. The implementation of Bill 42 was imminent. Thanks to this little episode, the senators voted to pass the bill. When the residents of the slum heard the news, they all packed their luggage, planning to take vehicles to the designated area for genetic modification. On the other side, Leon was sent to the premium care unit. Frank came to visit him and said he would find a way to cure his legs, but Leon had always held a grudge, resenting his father for accidentally killing his mother while treating her. Frank said that wasn't his intention. He loved his wife deeply and also cherished his only son. Otherwise, he wouldn't have worked so desperately on research and development all these years. Everything he did was to enable Leon, who had defects, to undergo genetic modification. At this moment, Mira came over and offered to take Leon out for a walk. Then the two went to the temporary camp where natural humans were stationed. They saw Chloe here. Leon excitedly shouted her name. The two smiled and let go of their past grievances, but Chloe still wanted to know whether Leon was now a member of the genetically modified humans.
I'm one of you.
Then Leon told Mira that she shouldn't trust the sinister and cunning Frank. He should be the mastermind behind the thugs' attack on the event, because he was the biggest beneficiary, but Mira didn't think so. Frank was trying to save natural humans from suffering. Leon said he knew his father better than anyone else. If she didn't believe him, they could go to the laboratory and record evidence with cameras. As they were chatting, suddenly several medical staff arrived, taking a man away according to the list. Chloe quickly followed, and discovered that Frank and Ronson were indeed in cahoots, and Frank's claim of wanting to modify natural humans' genes was just a cover. His real purpose was to extract biological materials from natural humans' brains, mix this with genetically modified variants, to create gene enhancers that would make genetically modified humans even stronger, and also allow Leon to complete genetic modification.
Their genetic disposition prevents their evolution. Harvesting them is the only humane solution.
The scene shifts. Chloe took the footage she had shot to show Mira and the others. Upon learning the truth, everyone was devastated and anxiously asked what they should do. Leon hoped everyone would unite as one to fight against evil. Until higher-ranking police arrived, the government wouldn't really abandon them. However, the natural humans lacked confidence, believing they were ultimately inferior.
We're all one. We're all equal.
The next day, Frank prepared to inject the drug into his son. Unexpectedly, Leon, wearing the exoskeleton, lifted him up directly, demanding to know where the raw materials for the drug came from. Seeing that his father refused to speak, he angrily threw him aside, saying he already knew everything. Then he shut his father in the ward without caring about his wails. Chloe, who was waiting outside for backup, handed him new ammunition and the last sour berry. Then the two went to the monitoring room. Leon took down the security guards effortlessly, but one of the guards managed to press the alarm before falling. Knowing they didn't have much time, Leon told Chloe to quickly send the video to the government. But the connection would take some time. In the meantime, Leon needed to hold off the enemies as much as possible. Before leaving, Mira couldn't bear to part with him. Chloe, who witnessed everything, told them to stop being mushy. Leon led the natural humans in a head-on confrontation with Ronson and his gang. Although the natural humans hadn't undergone genetic modification, they had the upper hand in numbers. The great battle was imminent. The natural humans fought with all their might. Leon also used up all his ammunition, but in the end, Ronson still had the advantage. He chased after Leon and launched a furious assault, but Leon didn't give up. Instead, he used the sour berry to corrode the glass protecting the Tree of Creation. Just as Ronson approached the Tree of Creation, after some time, a large number of special police arrived at the melee scene and ordered Ronson's men to lay down their weapons immediately, otherwise, they would be executed on the spot. The thugs dared not resist and had to raise their hands to surrender. At the same time, a female senior official entered the ward where Frank was detained, but it was empty. It was clear that Frank had long since fled. At this moment, the official picked up the drug on the ground and asked what was inside. On the other side, Mira and the other person found Leon, and upon discovering he was still alive, they were moved to tears. In the end, the natural humans returned to the slum. Bill 42 was abolished by the government, and to improve the dire situation of natural humans, the government lifted the malicious control over them. Leon successfully won the heart of his beloved. The three of them chatted and laughed happily, completely unaware of a black-clad figure standing in the shadows. As the camera panned, it was revealed that he was the mutated Frank. It was obvious that the drug he developed had side effects. It was truly poetic justice. The film ends here. My biggest feeling after watching the movie is that this genetic modification isn't all that impressive. They just kept talking about how powerful genetically modified humans are, but it turned out to be all show. In the end, they still had to rely on firearms. Moreover, this ending is really unrealistic. The social reality at that time was genetic supremacy. If this mindset needs to be changed, it may even require the unremitting efforts of multiple generations. It's absolutely impossible to achieve a turnaround after just one conflict. Furthermore, the implementation of a major bill is absolutely not something a single senator can accomplish alone. There must be other powerful figures behind him. Compared to the film's happy ending, I'm more inclined to believe that the female senior official is also a villain. What do you think about this? Today's commentary ends here. If you enjoyed my commentary, please subscribe to my channel. Your support is my greatest motivation. See you next time.